Hey, I've already shown you Texture Packer and a few other things, so now I'm going to take the next logical step and show GlyphDesigner, which designs text for your Cocos 2D game. And let's just go take a look here. This is the game that I have, and this is all the text here is just the background. These aren't actually labels, all the background image. What I'm going to show you, well, here these are actually these pieces of text are made using GlyphDesigner, and the reason why I used that, even though they're simple, is because I like how GlyphDesigner lets you put in stroke very easily, which isn't that easy to do on Cocos 2D. But what I'm going to change now is I'm going to show you a label that I currently have that is a TrueType font label, a TTF, and I'm going to change it to a GlyphDesigner BM font. So here, this right there, round one. Okay, so I'm going to pause that, and actually I'll just stop it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go design a new round label right now. So when you come in, it shows you a preview of the entire sort of spectrum of what's going to be available. And here are your fonts on the left. What I like to do is go to preview and then type something, a sample that you might actually use. So I know this is going to be for my round label, so I'm actually just going to type round, just say round 5, nice fat number. And so now I'm going to go down and choose something. And this is kind of cool. You can just sort of cycle through them, but I already have one in mind. It's called Rosewood, and actually you just type it here. And this is a circusy kind of looking font. So there, it already picked a color. We'll fix that. Let's make it a little bigger. A little bit bigger. That's pretty good. And then here are the different settings for the texture atlas. This I don't really need to mess with. Right here, this is a little more important. You can go from solid color versus a gradient, which will obviously give you two different colors. So let's say I want to do blue to yellow, and then I want to change the direction of the gradient like that. But we'll probably just go solid for now. Red, might as well just check out, see how that looks. I mean, it's a little harsh. And then here's the cool thing I was talking about before is the stroke, which you could change the sort of the weight of that. Let's just leave it at 1, and how you want that stroke centered. And I mean, this looks pretty good. This is worth trying out here. So then what we want to do is I'm just going to export it. I don't need to save it just yet. I have a little fonts folder, and we'll call this round label font. And just like any texture atlas, like with Texture Packer, this will actually save two types of files. Let's go find the font. I think it's actually up one in my fonts folder. And here we go, round label font. So just like Texture Atlas, we have, this is sort of like your atlas, and that doesn't look very good there. And then this is sort of like the plist file that Texture Atlas, or that Texture Packer uses, that explains all these little positioning and all the nitty gritty details. So let's bring this down into my fonts folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to change this. Let's just comment this out. And we're going to make round label equals. This time we're going to use BM font, label with string, round 1. And then the font file is, what do we save that as? tickets-label-font.fnt. You use the FNT file, not the PNG. So we don't have to do the color, we do have to do the positioning. Position equals, and I'll just use the previous label's position. Label.visible equals no. The reason why I have that as no is I have an action that sort of pops it in, and so it needs to be no so that it fades in or sort of scales in. Alright, so we're gonna and Z is K round label D value. Okay, so let's check this out now. And it should pop up right away after I leave the store area, right about now. And that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because I put the wrong one. Tickets label font. No, we want the round label font. Alright, let's try that one more time. Round label font. And here it is. There it is, round one. Alright. So that's about it. The main advantage here, well, there's a couple of advantages, but one of the main ones is that using this sort of font, like for instance here, this for the label, this is constantly going up. This is constantly changing. So for different labels that are constantly changing, this isn't even moving that fast, but some labels might move really fast. And there's round two. Such as, okay, so this living percentage one here. Now once a few more zombies get over there, this living percentage is going to start going down really fast. We'll see in a second. See, boom. So any label that's changing that quickly, you want to treat it like a sprite. You don't want to treat it like a vector image, which is what a CC label TTF is. It has to take much more power to draw that because it has to calculate it like an Illustrator image. Whereas CC label BM font, that's just pretty much like a sprite animating, which is a lot easier for Cocos 2D to do. So any label like that, a label that's just sort of sitting there, it doesn't change, you could use TTF and it's not going to affect your performance, but something that moves a lot, like the round label or the timer, the living percentage, that you want to use the BM font, and for that, GlyphDesigner does really easy. You saw it took just a few seconds, and it'll be better performance, and it gives you all those extra features. So check it out. Just go to search for GlyphDesigner, or I think the company is 71squared.com, and I believe it's free to use, but you need to pay to actually export. So check it out. See if it works for your game. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks.